Ram Ram Bhaja Mana Hare Hare 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 Ram Ram Bhaja Raghupati Raja Ram Ram Raghupati Raja Ram Ram Patita Pavana Sita Ram Patita Pavana Sita Ram 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Bhaja Mana 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 Hare Hare Raghupati Raja Ram Ram Raghupati Raja Ram Ram Patita Pavana Sita Ram Patita Pavana Sita Ram 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Bhaja Mana 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 Hare Hare Ramanama, very powerful. Bhagwan's name, Taraka Mantra actually. Ram Nama is Taraka Mantra to help cross over samsara. Ramanama is said to be all that is necessary. Simply chanting Ram Nama. So we will go to, today I thought I'll take a Lingashtakam so we can have the chanting along with explanation, and of course some Vedānta will come in everywhere. So we'll start. I think what page is it? 103. So what I thought, I will sing the line. If you can, many of you know it, and these shlokas and stotras we can put to any tune. So it is not like Vedic chanting. Vedic chanting, you have to stick to the swaras. Shlokas and stotras you can put to any tune. But I follow a certain tune, so maybe you can learn this way and then you can choose whichever tune you prefer. So first of all, I wanted to just give an introduction to what linga actually means, because it has a very profound meaning. Lingyate anena iti lingaha. So linga is something which stands for something else. Lingyate anena iti lingaha. So it stands for something else, it represents something else. So what does actually the linga represent? In when you make all forms, like if you have a lump of clay, and from that clay you can make different names and forms. You can make clay pots, you can make clay lids, all various names and forms you can make from clay. But when all the forms are compressed into one form, what does that form? It is like a sphere. It becomes like a linga. So a linga is actually a formless form representing all forms, because similarly in this universe, it's a universe of various names and forms. And when the Shastra says when you bring everything together, it will be represented by this linga form. So even in our Shastra, we see, the creation is considered to come out of the cosmic egg, So it is this round spherical shape that's usually alluded to in the Shastra. And that is also important because when you have a circular shape, is there a beginning or end to it? So linga, there is no beginning or end to a linga, which is very, again, symbolic, showing that this creation has no beginning and end. Everything is only manifest or unmanifest, but there is no beginning to it, there's no end to it. When everything becomes unmanifest, it is not destroyed. If you see a square or something, there's always ends, right? You draw one line, there's an end. Draw one line, there's an end. Here, there's no end. So actually, when we worship, when we do abhisheka to the linga, we are doing abhisheka to the whole universe. That is the symbolic understanding of this linga. So it's a very powerful symbol to represent the whole universe. It also represents Ishvara, because we say Ishvara is the form of the linga. Why? Because in Vedānta we say Bhagavan is the nimitta upadana karanam. He is the efficient or intelligent cause for this creation. At the same time, he is upadana karam, nimitta, abhinna nimitta upadana karan. He's nimitta karanam, which is the intelligent cause, upadana karanam, which means he's the material cause. So he's abhinna nimitta upadana karanam. He is the non-different, intelligent and material cause for the whole universe. Now, how do you depict that non-separate material and intelligence of the universe? The best form to depict that is a formless form. So that linga does not have any features, right? It is a circular, spherical form, formless form in which the intelligence and the material is contained. So every time we worship the Shiva Linga, we worship Linga, that form, we remember what it represents, what it stands for. It stands for Ishvara in both the intelligence and in material cause. And it also stands for all the forms, all the names and forms compressed becomes Shiva Linga. So when we chant this stotra, and once you have learned the chant, then you can dwell upon the meaning, because the meaning is also very beautiful. And again, praise of the Lingashtakam is praise of the Lord in the form of the Linga, which represents every form. So here we'll start with the first verse. Jyotirlingas also, these forms of light. So that's another type of depicting. Light also column of light. Everything comes to light because of light. So there is no beginning to that column of light. There is no end to the column of light. Everybody must know the story of, Shiva, Lord Shiva testing Lord Brahma and Vishnu, saying who can reach the top when he converts himself to a column of light. Who can see the top and who can see the lower part? And we know that Brahmaji was cursed because he he kind of tried to fool Shiva, right? So that's why this temple, no temples for Brahmaji, came from that story. But anyway, the idea is that there is no beginning or end. And Lord Shiva is depicted usually as the linga because of all the Trinity, the final one, he is the one who brings everything into unmanifestation, right? So Brahmaji, the role of Brahmaji is bringing everything into manifestation. But the final Trinity is the one that brings everything to unmanifestation into the formless form, linga. So it's associated with Lord Shiva. So the first line of this, everybody can repeat twice. So I do the shloka. The first verse will be at lower pitch, first two verses, lower tune, and then the third one higher. So it's like, you'll find it, you'll get used to it. So, Brahma Murari Surachita Lingam.
Surachita Lingam. Brahma Murari Surachita Lingam.
Nirmala Bhasita Shobhita Lingam.
Nirmala Bhasita Shobhita Lingam. Nirmala Bhasita Shobhita Lingam.
Janma Dukka Vinashaka Lingam.
Janma Dukka Vinashaka Lingam. Janma Dukka Vinashaka Lingam.
Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam.
Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam. Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam.
So Brahma Murari, we'll chant the whole verse together and then I'll give the meaning. Okay? Brahma Murari Surachita Lingam Nirmala Bhasita Shobhita Lingam Janma Dukka Vinashaka Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam. So Brahma Murari Surachita Lingam. We have to go first to the final line because it makes sense when you bring that. Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam. I always remain Pranamami. So Namami means saluting. Doing namaskara too. But when you add the prefix pra, it adds that extra. I always, Prakashena Namami. I always remain doing namaskara to that lingam, and it is Sada Shiva Lingam. It is eternal, it is auspicious. Shiva actually, even though it is a name, Nama of the Lord of Dissolution, Shiva means by itself auspicious one. He is the auspicious one. The Shankaroti iti Shankaraha. So all these comes from the same root that, Shankaraha is another name for Shiva. The one who brings auspiciousness into your life is Shankaraha. Shiva also means the one who is auspicious. So I remain saluting that eternal auspicious linga and Brahma Murari Surachita Lingam. The same linga, this linga, formless form that represents all forms, is worshipped by Brahmaji, which is Lord Brahma, and Murari by Lord Vishnu as well. And well worshipped, Surachita Lingam, by all the other deities also. The Shiva Linga is worshipped. And what is the quality of the Shiva Linga? Nirmala. It is ever taintless. It is pure, ever pure. Nirmala bhasita shobhita lingam. It shines with this taintless effulgence. Shobhita means effulgent. So again, alluding to light. It is a light. And Janmaja Dukkha Vinashaka Lingam. Simple Sanskrit. Janmaja means when you add ja, that born from. Okay, the ja, janma comes from that ja, that end of the word. When you add pankaja, what is pankaja? When you say pankaja, lotus, born of panka, born of slush is called lotus. So Sanskrit, beautiful meaning. Pankaja means that which is born of slush, but it remains untouched by that slush. So here, janmaja means that which is born of birth, being born. That which is born from your being born. What is born? Dukkha. The pain of being born, any associated pain of having birth here. So Janmaja Dukkha Vinashaka Lingam, that linga which destroys the pain of birth, of being in an embodied form. Tat Pranamami Sadashiva Lingam. I remain again bowing to that linga in this form. So Shiva is auspicious, as I said, auspicious. The one that gives prosperity here, and he is also given another name sometimes, Ashutoshaha. Ashutoshaha means he is easy to please. He will immediately give you the boon. That's why you see in all our Puranas, most people like to go to Shiva because they get their boons quicker. Vishnu, you take a longer tapas. You have to do a lot more tapas for Lord. But Ashutoshaha. So I salute that lingam, which is well worshipped by the devas, the sages, the brahmanas, and I remain. So he says here, that is in the next line, next verse. Deva muni pravarachita lingam.
Deva muni pravarachita lingam. Deva muni pravarachita lingam.
Kamadaham karunakaralingam.
Kamadaham karunakaralingam. Kamadaham karunakaralingam.
Ravanadarpa vinashanalingam.
Ravanadarpa vinashanalingam. Ravanadarpa vinashanalingam.
All together. Tat pranamami sada shivalingam. Tat pranamami sada shivalingam. Whole verse together. Deva muni pravarachita lingam. Kamadaham karunakaralingam. Ravanadarpa vinashanalingam. Tat pranamami sada shivalingam. Tat pranamami sada shivalingam. Very simple meaning. Deva Muni, all the devas, all the demigods, and worship this Pravarachita. Again, not just Archita, it is Pravarachita. They worship very well. They are constantly worshipping all the Munis, all the Rishis also, that Linga, which is the Lord in the form of all forms. Kamadaham Karunakaralingam. That Linga which destroyed the pride, who destroyed Manmatha. Manmatha is Kama, Lord of desire, right? And it's very, again, Sanskrit so beautiful. Man is Manaha, the mind. Matha means the one that churns the mind. So desire, Lord of desire, churns the mind. In fact, desire is what churns the mind. It doesn't allow you to rest. It doesn't allow you peace. So the moment desire arises, then you want to fulfill it. So that is why it's called Manmatha. Kama is called Manmata, the one who churns the mind, agitates the mind. And Karuna, the Dahan means he's one who burnt this desire, and he showers Karuna Karalingam. He is the producer, he produces compassion, he gives compassion, he makes compassion, he invokes compassion, and this is the form of Lord as the Linga. He also gives you the capacity to overcome desires. So when the Linga is worshipped, it gives you the capacity to overcome your desires, to manage your desires, and burns the binding desires, the binding nature. So your desires become a vibhuti, they become a joy for you. As Krishna himself says in Gita, I am in the form of desire in everyone. If Bhagavan is in the form of desire, desire is not wrong. It is a gift to be able to desire. But the binding nature, Lord Shiva burns. And Karuna is the compassion. So even though there are a lot of challenges, difficulties that we have to face, that Karuna Kara means that when I worship the Linga, or I have this, I worship the Linga, I have this attitude towards Linga, then what? So the Karuna means manifestation of karma phalam, grace. So when do we say, oh, Bhagavan has a compassion on me? When do we say that? When we're suffering a lot and suddenly we find a relief to our helplessness, relief to our suffering, then we attribute compassion to the Lord. Is he really compassionate and kind? Or actually, we are attributing all these qualities to Ishvara. He, in fact, is an impartial witness. He doesn't have attributes. But because of I think, oh, Bhagavan is punishing me. When my papa karma, negative karma is manifesting, then I attribute to Ishvara. Ishvara is punishing me. And then when something good he is manifesting, oh, he is so compassionate, he's all love. But who is giving Bhagavan the attributes? It is not that Bhagavan has attributes. I am the one bestowing Bhagavan with the attributes. So he is impartial witness. So when I say Karunakara, actually what I am saying is that when you manifest Punya Palam in my life, you're Karunakara. Otherwise you are Rudra. Then you chant Rudram for him. So you're giving. So Ravana Darpa Vinashanalingam. There is a story, again, people who are interested in Puranic stories, but Ravana tried to lift Mount Kailasa. So here, this is referring to that. Darpa is his pride. What did Lord Shiva do when Ravana tried to show that I can do this with his big toe only, not even foot? It is said with his big toe, he pressed down the mountain and afflicted Ravana. He squashed Ravana under the mountain. That is when Ravana did tapas for Lord Shiva and he gained the boons. But it's Ravana Darpa. He destroyed that pride. I can do anything. I can achieve anything. And Tat Pranamami Sadashiva Lingam. I remain saluting that eternal, timeless Linga. So now the third verse is in the high pitch. Sarva Sugandhi Sulepita Lingam.
Sarva Sugandhi Sulepita Lingam. Sarva Sugandhi Sulepita Lingam.
Buddhi Vivardhana Karana Lingam.
Buddhi Vivardhana Karana Lingam. Buddhi Vivardhana Karana Lingam.
Siddha Surasura Vandita Lingam.
Siddha Surasura Vandita Lingam. Siddha Surasura Vandita Lingam.
Together. Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam. Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam. Whole verse. Sarva Sugandhi Sulepita Lingam. Buddhi Vivardhana Karana Lingam. Siddha Surasura
Vandita-lingam Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Pranamami Sada Shivalingam.
So that Pranamami Sada Shivalingam, again, I remain saluting that eternal linga. And Sarva Sugandhi Sulepita. So just describing that linga, even this Manasika Puja can be done with these verses actually. If you don't have time to do all of this physically, if you chant this knowing the meaning, Manasika Karma has Drishtaphalam, which is immediate result. Immediate result in the form of mental purification. So that is why Manasika Karma is also a very powerful way to gain Chitta Shuddhi, Antakarana Shuddhi. So he says here, the verse says here, this linga that is anointed with various sugandhi, with fragrant oils, all of this fragrant essence of fragrance. Because fragrance always invokes, what do you feel when you smell something fragrant? Your mind becomes peaceful. So it is all again trying to retain and gain that peaceful mind. So Sarva Sugandhi Sulepita Lingam, good fragrance makes you find peace. Buddhi Vivardhana Karana Lingam, it is also the cause for improving your Viveka Shakti. When you say Buddhi Vivardhana, the growth of the intellect, what does that mean? Doesn't mean your head size is going to expand, right? Suddenly you start doing Linga Puja, then your head starts expanding. No. Buddhi Vivardhana means Viveka Shakti. Whenever you see Buddhi, the power of discernment, power of discrimination of what? Discernment of what? Nitya Vastu Vivekaha. Always in our spiritual pursuit, we remember Tattva Bodha definition, which is the ability to see through the impermanence of everything. Right now, I don't understand there is something permanent, but I sense I cannot be this impermanent, which is nature of coming and going all the time. But I still remain. The same I has been there from the time I could recognize that I, and it has been to this day, through all the changes, that I is always there. I am has always been there. So the Buddhi Vivardhana are very important because Buddhi is the instrument of knowledge. Buddhi is where Shastra says Upalabdhi Sthanam, where self-knowledge also takes place as though location, there is no real location. Ignorance is also Buddhi, right? Ignorant thought is also Buddhi. So here, Buddhi Vivardhana, we want knowledge to remove the ignorance, clarity. So Siddha Sura Vandita Lingam. If this linga is worshipped also by the Siddhas. So actually Siddha and Muni, all of these words, some people say they mean the same thing. But Muni is a Mananashilaha, the one who has the ability to contemplate, able to see a bit further than others. Muni. But Siddhas are people who manifest specific powers. They have special, this Ashta Siddhis. So Siddha doesn't equate to knowledge. Many people can have powers. We know India is full of powerful people, not just people in politics or people who have wealth and name and fame, but power meaning they can do all sorts of tricks, manifestation through some tapas, a lot of siddhas. So he said all those siddhas worship this linga. Maybe they have attained the powers through linga worship also. So he blesses also, not just with moksha, he blesses also with what you want. And deva, asura. So sura and asura. Suras are devas. Asuras, we know, are people. What is ashusu ramati iti asuraha? Who are these asuras that revel in sense pleasure? In fact, everybody today's day and age is asura. Sura are the ones who can manage sense pleasures. So asuras are not sitting in some patala loka. Asuras and suras are here in this jagat. So this linga is worshipped by both. So what does it show? Bhagavan doesn't discriminate. And say Asura, no, don't do Linga worship. No, everybody worships Shiva Linga. I remain saluting that Shiva Linga.
Kanaka Mahamani Bhushitalingam. Kanaka Mahamani Bhushitalingam. Kanaka Mahamani Bhushitalingam. Phanipati Veshtita Shobhitalingam. Phanipati Veshtita Shobhitalingam. Phanipati Veshtita Shobhitalingam. Daksha Suyajna Vinashana Lingam. Daksha Suyajna Vinashana Lingam. Daksha Suyajna Vinashana Lingam. Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam. Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam. Kanaka Mahamani Bhushitalingam. Phanipati Veshtita Shobhitalingam. Daksha Suyajna Vinashana Lingam. Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam. Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam. So Kanaka Maha, very simple. Kanaka Maha, Mani Bhushita Lingam, the linga that is decorated with gold and all these monies, all these jewels, all these ornaments. And that is also symbolic. Why do we offer all these precious jewels and gems and gold and everything to Bhagavan? Is he not the one who has Samagrasya Shri? You know, in the definition of Bhagavan, we find the one with the Shat Bhagas, the one with the sixfold opulences or the sixfold forms of wealth. You see, his Samagrasya Shri is one of them. So Aishwaryasya Samagrasya Viryasya Yashaha Shriyaha Jnana Vairagya Yoscheva Shannam Bhaga It Irana. Bhagavan's definition is that he has that sixfold opulences. He has overlordship over everything. Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, overlordship over everything. I have overlordship over one ant I can remove from this room and put outside. If I have overlordship over tiny things. But he has Samagrasya, Aishwaryasya, his Samagrasya, Viryasya, all strength, the power to create, the power to sustain, power to dissolve the universe. Shriya, all wealth. So it is actually symbolic. Everything is symbolic. He has given all this wealth to human beings. But when I offer to the altar and showing, that you are the one who has all this wealth, I am just partaking of the tiny Shri that you already have. You have given me this tiny Shri, I am offering back to you. So this is very pretty. And Samagrasya Jnana, he is all knowledge. Samagrasya Vairagya, with all of that, with all of the overlordship, all the wealth, he is Vairagi. He has total dispassion towards everything. So whether you offer gold or you offer a bilva leaf, Krishna says, Palam, Patra, Pushpam, anything. You can offer any little thing to me. I will accept it. The bhavana that Ishvara looks for. So Pani Pati Veshtita Shobhita Lingam, he shines beautifully. Shobhita again, he shines beautifully. But now, not just the jewels, not just the gold, snakes adorn the Lord. And what are these snakes? These snakes are the snakes of ego. The ahankara is snake. Snake, if you let wild, it'll wreak havoc, right? But when you have the snakes adorning me, adorning the linga, what does it show? The Lord is the Lord of all ahankaras as well. He is the one whose strength can help you manage the ahankara. It is the ahankara that feels hurt. It is the ahankara that feels guilty. It is the ahankara that claims all the results of action. And it's the ahankara that goes up and down with all the experiences in life. And when this ahankara is worn as an ornament around the Lord, it becomes a fangless ahankara, a non-hurting ahankara. It cannot hurt you anymore. As long as it has fangs, it can poison your life and other people's lives. But once the fangs are, when it's defanged by this Lord, then it cannot hurt anything. So this is also very symbolic. Panipati Veshtita, he is the Lord of all ahankaras. Dakshina Vinashanalingam, again referring to the story where Lord Shiva is not, he's smited, he's not allowed to come to the yajna of Daksha. And he takes another form. We know that he destroys not the yajna of Daksha. What does he destroy? Pride again. He destroys the ahankaric pride of Daksha. And Kumkumachan, that's the next one. Tat pranamami sada Shiva lingam. Kumkuma chandana lepita lingam.
Kumkuma chandana lepita lingam. Kumkuma chandana lepita lingam.
Pankajahara sushobita lingam.
Pankajahara sushobita lingam. Pankajahara sushobita lingam.
Sanchita papa vinashana lingam.
Sanchita papa vinashana lingam. Sanchita papa
vinashana lingam. Tat pranamami sada Shiva lingam. Tat pranamami sada Shiva lingam. Very Kuma chandana lepita lingam. Pankajahara sushobita lingam. Sanchita papa vinashana lingam. Tat pranamami sada Shiva lingam. Tat pranamami sada Shiva lingam. So kumkuma chandana lepita lingam, very simple. The linga that is adorned with all these very auspicious materials, kumkum, chandanam. It is adorned, anointed with that. Pankajahara sushobita lingam. Again, the linga shines with this. I said this word, pankaja, the one that is born of mud. Hara is garland, garland of lotuses. He is adorned with this garland of lotuses. Again, you can visualize as you chant. That's many of our shlokas and stotras are given for upasana purposes. So memorize, or you can get a level of chanting first. You're able to just close your eyes. That is the idea. The idea behind shlokas and stotras is that you memorize it, and then you close your eyes and dwell on the meaning. So even if you memorize one or two, it's enough. But this is the idea, it's for upasana purpose. So Pankaja is the one that remains pure even though it is born in mud. And Sanchita Papa, Vinashana Lingam, very simple, destroys all the Sanchita Papas. Okay? The Linga. Does the Linga actually destroy, if I worship the Linga, will it destroy Sanchita Papa? Only knowledge destroys the Sanchita Papa. How does knowledge destroy? Krishna says so many times in Gita that knowledge, burns the papas to ashes. It burns the papa to ashes, burns your karmic account to ashes. How does it burn? By doing more karma, we cannot eradicate karma. As we saw, that you have to experience the karma. When you go through the experience of pleasant situation, or unpleasant, your punya and papa come down according to your experience. Can I eradicate? And while I'm going through the experience of punya and papa, and my account is coming down in this janma. At the same time, I'm creating more karma phalam by doing more action, using my free will. So can the sanchita ever be burnt to ashes? It cannot. The only way sanchita can be totally eradicated is through knowledge of aham akarta. I am a non-doer. I never did the action in the first place. Body, mind, sense acts, but I am the non-doer. Like the light, as I said, the light in the room does no action. It brings to light all activities, yet it remains untouched by the results of action. Light in the room does not have guilt or hurt because it knows I never committed any action. So that is the idea. Sanchita Papa is only destroyed when you recognize I'm a karta, non-doer, a bhokta, non-experiencer. Sanchita karma kim. What is, if people remember, just to go back to Tattva Bodha, what is the definition? Ananta koti Ananta koti janmanam bija bhutam. It is the bijas. It is the seed, the cause for ananta koti janmas. For so many more janmas. So everybody, it is said in Shastra, has a combination of every type of birth in the Sanchita. What combination is going to take place in next life is determined by your good activity, I would say, in this life. That's why good actions never go to waste. So if you are using the free will to do actions in line with dharma, you are giving yourself a greater probability of a good combination to get good birth in future life. So nothing ever goes to waste. So he says, Tat pranamami sadashivalingam Devagana chitta sevita lingam
Devagana chitta sevita lingam Devagana chitta sevita lingam
Bhaver bhakti bhireva chalingam
Bhaver bhakti bhireva chalingam Bhaver bhakti bhireva chalingam
Dinakara koti prabhakara lingam
Dinakara koti prabhakara lingam Dinakara koti prabhakara lingam
Tat pranamami sada shivalingam Tat pranamami sada shivalingam Devagana chitta sevita lingam Bhavet bhakti vireva chalingam Dinakara koti prabhakara lingam Tat pranamami sada shivalingam Tat pranamami sada shivalingam Devagana chitta sevita lingam. Again, the one, I salute that linga, which is worshipped by the hosts of God, all the ganas, all the devas, again, the sevitas, served by all of these type of beings. And bhavair bhakti, bhirevacha lingam. So this linga, which represents Bhagavan, Ishvara, is gained only with the attitude of bhakti, devotion. Very important. And how does devotion manifest? Devotion is not a separate path. We have to understand there is no four paths here. Devotion is the fuel that fuels all your activities. That is the real spiritual sadhana. Devotion is a manifestation on the mental level. I offer my thoughts to Ishvara. Whatever I do, I offer to Ishvara. On the verbal level, that is also an instrument I have, the tongue. Whatever I say, speak, it should be in alignment with dharma. That dharma is Ishvara for me. So I'm aligned with Ishvara. When I speak the truth, I am true to myself. And this is bhakti also manifesting in life. And of course, kayikam karma. service of others, Manav Seva, Madhav Seva, also a form. I am not serving the person, I am serving Ishvara in the person. That is the attitude. Humanity is just a form of Ishvara. So whoever I serve, they are actually giving opportunity for me to express my devotion to Ishvara. That's how we should take it, the attitude. Not that I am doing something for somebody else. You are giving me the opportunity to express my devotion towards the one, Ishvara. So Bhave Bhakti, the one, he says here, can be gained through this sadhana of devotion, and you gain the, Karma Yoga is also lifestyle. Dinakara Koti Prabhakara Lingam. He, this Lord, this Linga represents the effulgence of billions. Dinakara Koti. Billion. Dinakara is a very beautiful name for sun. Dinakaraha. Why is it called Dinakaraha? Because the maker of the day. Without the sun, you can't have. Kara means maker. Karaha. Dinakaraha, the maker of the day is Lord Sun. Who makes the day? There's no day and night without sun, right? So Dinakara. Koti, that billions and billions of suns cannot match the effulgence of this Linga, this Lord, represented by Linga. Unto that Linga in the form of light, Tat Pranamami, my salutations, that eternal Linga. Ashtadalo pariveshtita lingam.
Ashtadalo pariveshtita lingam. Ashtadalo pariveshtita lingam.
Sarva samudbhava karana lingam.
Sarva samudbhava karana lingam. Sarva samudbhava karana lingam.
Ashtadaritra vinashana lingam.
Ashtadaritra vinashana lingam. Ashtadaritra vinashana lingam.
Tat pranamami sada shivalingam. Tat pranamami sada shivalingam. Whole verse. Ashtadalo pariveshtita lingam. Sarva samudbhava karana lingam. Ashtadaritra vinashana lingam. Tat pranamami sada shivalingam. Tat pranamami sada shivalingam. So a lot of ashta here. Ashta is often associated with Shani, 8. So eightfold, this linga, which is seated on the eightfold petaled lotus. So ashtadalo pariveshtita lingam. So this 8 has a lot of significance. You see, in Ashtakam, a lot of Ashtakam as well. It is a number of infinity. Infinity. It is, again, never ending, no beginning, no end. But it is also a number of constraint, restraint. 8 makes you, people with 8s, numerologically, hard work. 8 involves a lot of hard work. I always understand it. If you work hard, it is easier to, again, recognize that you're infinity. So infinity, and so focus. 8 is, Shani is always, Shani for spiritual life is fantastic. Maybe for the world, people are frightened, But without Lord Saturn's lessons in life, we will never grow. So in fact, Saturn teaches us so many lessons, and infinity also gives us that infinite ultimately. So here, linga, eightfold linga here, and sarva samudbhava karana lingam. This linga is sarva samudbhava, gives rise to everything. So here, linga is not just seen in the form of dissolution. It gives rise. When everything is dissolved into the formless form, from where do the forms again arise? from that linga alone. Sarva samudbhava. Everything comes from the linga. So it's very beautiful. It's seen in the form of manifestation as well as dissolution here in this verse. And ashradaridra vinashana lingam. This is just, I'm going to give you some little, general knowledge, okay? Ashradaridra means eightfold poverty, forms of poverty. There are different lists that you get. I am going to give you one list, this again is in the Shastra. What are the eightfold forms of poverty? The first one is wearing torn clothes. So we should not wear torn clothes. So that is one ashtadaridra, one of the ashtadaridras. Eating stale or leftover food or food from somebody else's plate. We have to take. That is also considered poverty. Eat from your own plate. So ashtadaridra, one more. And inability to digest food is considered one of the daridras, forms of poverty. Inability to digest food. Getting very difficult to manage children. Number 4, daridra, getting children difficult to manage, who are disrespectful, obnoxious, aggressive. So please take this with a pinch of salt. As I said, this is mentioned in one text, so I thought it would be interesting to see what daridra in those days. Being widowed at a young age is another daridra that is also. You can see these things will create any shoka, no? Forms of sorrow. There are many things you can add to the list. Do we only have ashtadaridras? We have so many, but this is only one list of the things that poverty. So exactly, we have so being widowed at a so we're talking about children, but here the 6th daridra is having a spouse, a cheating spouse, or somebody who drinks, or somebody who is not a very supportive spouse is also considered a daridra here. Losing parents at an early age, 7th daridra. And the last one is being born blind. Well, because you don't, of all the senses, actually eyes, you see, eyes are very important. You can recognize the world. So that is also considered. These are 8 ashtadaridra. Wearing torn clothes, leftover food, inability to digest, difficult to manage children.
Inability to digest is one way.
Yeah, inability to digest food, because you may have very nice food. You may enjoy, have a wonderful spread, like we're going to have in a half an hour or so. You have a wonderful spread, and unfortunately, the inability to digest, so it's considered daridra. So anyway, take it with a pinch of salt. It is just to give you an idea. These are all, some books in our, like Manusmriti, they will have this. In those days, that day and age, this probably had a more meaning. This, this day and age, everybody has ashtadaridra. To some extent, rebellious children, spouse who doesn't listen to me. I mean, I hear that everybody has these issues. So it is just a different day and age. In those days, that day and age, maybe everybody was obedient, polite, to each other. That's a Vedic life. So take it with a pinch of salt. And 7th one is losing the parents at a young age. That is also a difficult daridra. And that linga is the one. Ashtadaridra vinashana lingam removes all forms of poverty. Poverty, we have to understand daridra as situations that are bringing you sorrow. So we more or less. Then the last verse here, Sura Guru Suravara Pujita Lingam.
Sura Guru Suravara Pujita Lingam. Sura Guru Suravara
Suravana Pushpa Sada Chitalingam.
Suravana Pushpa Sada Chitalingam. Suravana Pushpa Sada Chitalingam.
Parat Param Paramatmakalingam.
Parat Param Paramatmakalingam. Parat Param Paramatmakalingam.
Tat pranamami sada Shivalingam. Tat pranamami sada Shivalingam. Suraguru Suravara Pujita Lingam. Suravana Pushpa Sada Chitalingam. Param Paramatmakalingam. Tat pranamami sada Shivalingam. Tat pranamami sada Shivalingam. So this is the last Ashtakam of the Ashtakam, the last verse. So Suraguru, Suravara, Pujita Lingam, very similar idea by the Suras. Again, I salute that Linga which is worshipped by all beings. So it is not just in this loka. We can see, the verses show that this Linga is worshipped as a symbol in all the lokas as well. Asura loka, Sura loka, all. And Pujita Suravara here. Who is the Suravara? The greatest of the Suras. It is not Indra here. It's referring to Brihaspati. And by Indra, you can take it to Indra. But Brihaspati is the one who advises the head chief of gods, right? So he's worshipped by Indra and Brihaspati, who is the guru of all the Suras. And Suravana Pushpa Sada Chitalingam, they worship by offering the flowers from the garden. Which garden? Whose garden? The garden of the gods. So you can imagine what type of flowers they have there. So this is how they worship. Suravana. Suravana means the forest or the garden of the gods. And Parat Param Paramatmakalingam. So here there's two words here. So Parat Param. So the first, so he is the Parat Param, he is beyond Maya. So the first Para here is Maya. Okay, referring to Maya. He is the one beyond Maya because he is Mayinam to Maheshwaram. He is the wielder of Maya. He is the magician who wields Maya, and all of this comes as his magic. So he is the magician behind the magic. Parat Param. He is beyond Maya. So here Para also means Maya. Param means beyond Maya, transcends Maya. And everything you see in this, empirical universe, the universe of perception is Maya. So everything which is perceptible is Maya Shakti. Is everything as solid as we take it to be? It is not. Even science shows nothing is as solid as we take it to be. So that is how Maya Shakti veils. We say veil, veils our vision of the one. So that Mayinam, that magician is hiding behind that Maya. So the whole life is to recognize the magician behind the magic. That is why we're born. Not to get trapped in the magic. We get trapped in the magic, we forget the magician. Once you know the magician, you won't get awed, or you won't get, again, scared by the magic. So Param, Paramatmakalingam, that is the form of Paramatma, it's the highest self, consciousness. This linga represents consciousness. It is a symbol that stands for the one all-pervasive truth of the universe, Parat Param, Paramatmakalingam, Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam. I remain saluting this eternal, timeless linga, which is the form of all forms. And then the last is Phalashruti, Lingashtakamidam Punyam.
Lingashtakamidam Punyam. Lingashtakamidam Punyam.
Yah Patet Shiva Sannidho.
Yah Patet Shiva Sannidho. Yah Patet Shiva Sannidho.
Shivalokam
Shivalokam Shivalokam
Shivena saha modate.
Shivena saha modate. Shivena saha modate.
So whoever chants this Lingashtakam, Falashruti, again, in the presence of Shiva Sannidho, in the presence of Lord Shiva, what does that mean? Bringing in the presence in the mind of Lord Shiva. So in the presence means that you invoke the presence. Shiva is always there, but you recognize that he is there. So when you chant with that bhavana, with that feeling, then Shiva Lokam Abapnoti, here Shiva Loka, we can understand we're not interested in going to lokas when we come to Vedanta, right? Because loka going is a holiday out. Holiday out means you have to come back here, and you have to again work for punya to go for another holiday. So we're not interested in holiday out. So Shiva Loka can mean yourself, right? The form of auspiciousness. Shiva Loka is there with you. Shivena Sahamodate revels, the person who gains that Loka, where Lord Shiva dwells, revels in happiness, revels in Lord Shiva. So it becomes one with Lord Shiva. That's what it means. So shall we chant the whole thing together? And 2 verses lower pitch, 1 verse higher, 2 verses lower, 1 higher, and then 1 low, 1 high, like that. Okay, you just follow that. Brahma Murari Surachita Lingam Nirmala Bhasita Shobita Lingam Janmaja Dukha Vinashaka Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam Deva Muni Pravarachita Lingam Kamadahan Karunakara Lingam Ravana Darpa Vinashana Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam Sarva Sugandhi Sulepita Lingam Buddhi Vivardhana Karana Lingam Siddha Surasura Vandita Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam Kumkumhamani Bhushita Lingam Panipati Veshtita Shobita Lingam Daksha Suyajna Vinashana Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam Kumkumalindana Lepita Lingam Pankajahara Sushobita Lingam Sanjita Papa Vinashana Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam Daiva Sevita Lingam Bhavair Bhakti Virevacha Lingam Dinakara Koti Prabhakara Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam Ashtadalo Pariveshtita Lingam Sarva Samudbhava Karana Lingam Ashtadaridra Vinashana Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam Suraguru Suravara Pujita Lingam Suravana Pushpa Sada
Parat param paramatmakalingam tat pranamami sada shivalingam tat pranamami sada shivalingam Lingashtakamidam punyam yah patet shiva sannidhau Shivalokamavatnoti Shivena sahamodate Iti Shri Lingashtakam samaptam Om Shanti